Good morning. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I planted those seedlings that I bought at the big box stores, as well as the additional seeds that I was hoping to get to grow in these garden boxes. And I thought I would give you all a quick update. As you can see, most of the plants in the garden are doing really well, particularly my melon plants. Here is the cantaloupe that I planted from seeds initially, and you can see just how well that is doing. Now you notice these melon plants have tendrils. These are structures that will reach out, and you can see one right there. It wraps around whatever it can. If I didn't have this cage, it would try to wrap around the box or some other structure inside the box to provide support to the plant as it starts to develop, so that the fruit can be supported as well. So having this structure here is going to be helpful to allow the plant to further strengthen itself by attaching those tendrils to the cage. Now, every little flower that you see that gets pollinated will ultimately turn into fruit. So you want to make sure that you keep an eye on that. Also want to make sure that you keep an eye on insects and other things that might be attacking, so that you can use whatever bio remedy you can find that's hopefully organic and natural to protect your plants as they grow. Again, I put Mealworm Frass in all of these boxes so that the plants think they're already under attack as they grow, and so they should be growing stronger internally as well. Here is the pumpkin plant that I bought from a seedling from a big box store. You can see that it's doing okay. It's not growing quite as fast as the melon plants, but again, give it another couple of weeks and I'm sure it will be a lot bigger, and I'll do another update video at that time. Finally, here is the honeydew that I grew from seeds, and this one is just really taking off. Look at that, so many flowers. It is just really thriving. From time to time, you also want to check on these plants that creep to make sure that anything that might be outside of the cage, for example, I found this one like this morning, and I gently coaxed it inside so that these tendrils will hopefully attach and keep the plant growing internally as opposed to externally to this structure. And that will give it additional support, keeps the fruit off the ground so you don't get fungal diseases of your fruit. Your fruit will be more pristine. It'll be healthier because it's growing apart from the other fruits, and you'll be able to see it a lot easier than if it's on the ground covered by those leaves. So that's another reason to put these cages around any creeping plants. So my melon plants are doing really well. Here's an example of a box that is not doing so well. These are my carrots and my chives. If you recall, I didn't get one side of the box to grow initially, and so I replanted the seeds there, and I replanted some seeds here. It looks like the chives just didn't enjoy trying to grow in my boxes.
And it's not
I'm not enjoying it. I'm not.
I probably should have put them in some pots to start with and kept them in the garage and really monitored them under more controlled conditions. And then harden them off, which means putting them outside in the sun for a little bit in those same planters, and then ultimately moving them to the boxes. That's the way that you really should do it if you're trying to get seeds to grow into nice, strong plants. But I didn't have time this year, so I thought, well, let's go ahead and just plant the seeds directly. Now, my carrots did take off, but something came and attacked them. Look at that. That one was chewed up. Here's another example. Just a little bit of a leaf that's left there, but something is coming in here. Probably grasshoppers are coming in and chewing on those. So I'm not sure that I'm going to get any fruit from this box, but I will keep an eye on it and keep watering it just in case. Here again in this box, my lemongrass seed never took off. Again, I probably should have germinated that in a planter in the garage before trying to move it to the garden boxes, but didn't have time. This is a cayenne pepper plant. It's doing okay. I bought that from a big box store, and these are my other two pepper plants, a hot banana and a jalapeno. They're doing fairly well. Now this one is leaning a little bit. You can see it kind of, fell over. I'm probably going to go back and try to brace this up with a couple of stakes just to make sure that it kind of grows up and not over the edge of the box.
Oh my God! Wow!
By contrast, take a look at my okra plants. Wow, look at those bases, just amazing. Again, I attribute a lot of that to the Mealworm Frass that I put in these boxes. It really helps to strengthen the plants, to make them think they're under attack. And speaking of attack, look at that grasshopper.
You know nobody likes you, right?
He's probably just waiting for me to move on so he can start chomping on that leaf. But that's okay. These plants are able to withstand attack. You can see something chewed on it there. They are really strengthened from the inside out, and that's why that mealworm frass is so important. Here are a couple of the plants that I bought from the big box stores. My tomato plant there. Got another one here. I probably need to cut this leaf back so that gets some sunlight. You got to watch out for things like that, because if not, that plant will never grow. So I need to cut some of these leaves back and let that little plant get some light. There's my basil, doing really well. It's gotten a lot bigger since I bought it. And here are the other two tomato plants. Again, those are doing well in these cages because they're getting plenty of sunlight. And as they start to grow and creep, this will also provide a lot of structure for them. Finally, I have my green bell pepper plant here, which you can see that I bought from the big box store. This one is also doing very well. I might also put some supports on either side of this one to help it to grow straight. Take a look at this. This is the Crookneck Squash and the zucchini squash. But look at how big these plants have gotten in just a couple of weeks. My goodness. And look at those flowers. Awesome. Again, all of the flowers that are pollinated will turn into fruit. That doesn't mean every flower is going to turn into fruit, because some flowers pollinate the others, but the flowers that get pollinated will turn into fruit. And so you want to make sure that you're watching this. Look, I've already got some baby zucchini squash right there. Look at that one right there. That one ultimately is going to turn into a full-blown zucchini. That one will too once this flower opens and gets pollinated. So you got to really keep an eye on your squash plants and check them periodically. They will have fruit sometimes that is very well hidden. So you want to make sure that you're checking on it so that you can harvest that fruit before animals get to it, because they're looking for that ripening fruit as well. Here's my broccoli, again, doing really, really well. These plants have really taken off. And again, something is chewing on them, but I don't like to spray my plants with a lot of chemicals. I would rather try and go natural. So I just try to find some natural solutions to pest control. And also that frass is going to help these plants as they grow. Unfortunately, my red cayenne pepper, my onion, and my lettuce plants did not take off this year. So I'm going to either try to replant something there if I have enough time. And if not, that's okay. I've got plenty of other vegetables and fruits growing. So I'm going to have plenty of harvest this year. Here is my peas plant. This is doing really well. I've got two here that I've taken off, and I've got one here that's sprouted. So I'm going to put some cages around these. I've ordered some more cages. That way, when these tendrils start to reach out, they'll have that same structure to support those plants. My spinach plant did not take off, unfortunately, either there or there. And my mesclun plant did not take off, but my Swiss chard is just going like gangbusters. As you can see, something like Swiss chard, it's getting really attacked. Something is chomping on those leaves. I suspect it's those same grasshoppers, but it's still putting out really strong leaves, as you see there, that have not yet been attacked. As that gets bigger and as it grows stronger, it's going to put out more leaves. I'll have plenty for me and plenty for the grasshoppers to enjoy as well. And if it gets really bad, again, I will find an organic solution to try and prevent those grasshoppers from continuing to attack the plant. But for now, I'm not too worried about it. Finally, we have my cucumber plant that I grew from a little seedling that I bought at a big box store. This is just doing really well. This one also has the same tendrils, so you can see this one's trying to latch on already. That is great. This one has latched on. You can see they just kind of wrap around. It's so interesting that they can figure out how to wrap around and support themselves as they grow. And so again, you want to make sure that you're training these plants to grow inside if you can, so that they will be supported by the structure internally as the fruit starts to develop. My dill, I have a couple little baby dill plants, one right there, some over here. I don't know why they got spread around so much. Maybe the seeds moved around with the rains we had. I don't know, but I'm getting some baby dill plants coming in. Of course, my rosemary is doing all right. That's the one that I bought from a big box store. My asparagus plant continuing to thrive. And finally, the spearmint plant that I bought at a big box store. You can see that these spearmint and peppermint plants will put out these long runners. I know from experience that those runners will really start to take off, and if you do not keep them in check, they will choke out anything in their space. So you want to make sure that as you see those runners growing, you trim them back so that you don't crowd out your other plants, because they will really take over the entire box. There you have it, just a quick update video. As you can see, I've got some plants that are going like gangbusters and others, well, really more of a bust. but that's just part of gardening. You're gonna have hits and you're gonna have misses. I encourage you to keep track of how you are growing things in your garden, both the types of things you're trying to grow and how you tried to grow them, either from seed or from seedlings, so that in subsequent seasons you can hopefully get a better head start and maximize the bounty in your garden. With that said, I'm looking forward to providing you with some update videos in the coming weeks to hopefully show you some fruits and vegetables growing on my plants. So if you want to be notified of those videos as they are released, subscribe to my Rancher Mike YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be informed of those videos as they drop. And if you enjoyed this video, please go and click that like button. You may not realize it, but your likes mean a lot to us as YouTube creators. It keeps us motivated to keep making these videos, and more importantly, it shows us what you all think is interesting so that we will continue to make more of that content. So if it's not too much trouble, please go and hit that little thumbs up at the bottom of this video. I will say thank you in advance to those of you who do so. Thanks again to everybody who subscribes to my channel, and I wish you happy gardening, and until next time, take care.
If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can also check out one of my other videos here, and stay up to date by subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. Until next time, I'll see you on the ranch.